center court, which is just iconic place to play. And she's a great kid, and I just hope that things will go well for her. She's got to get calmed down. They had over 400 calls for sponsorships for her, so there's going to have to be a lot.
It's been quite a thrill ride for her this last year as well. I feel like last year at this event, it was a little bit of a coming out party where she had some great results coming from a wild card position as well. So I think the international interest in both of them is so high, and Miami being such a sort of a cultural melting pot with so many of the international, so much of the international.
Billie Jean King didn't just send a simple congratulations. She paused, looked at Alex Eala's moment, and made it feel bigger, almost like a scene unfolding under bright lights at the Miami Open, where center court isn't just a place, it's a statement. For weeks, she's been quietly following Eala's rise, watching the small wins turn into something louder, something impossible to ignore, and her words carried both admiration and a quiet warning. Because behind the applause, behind the spotlight, there's a different kind of pressure waiting, the kind that doesn't show up on scoreboards. In her message, King didn't just celebrate, she opened a door to reality, reminding Eala that this step, this moment, isn't small at all, it's a turning point, the kind that changes everything before you even realize it has. She praised her talent, her composure, the way she owns the court like she belongs there, but then she shifted the tone, gently, almost like a mentor who's seen this story before. With success comes noise, louder, heavier, harder to escape, and soon, it won't just be fans watching, it'll be brands, offers, expectations pulling from every direction. Opportunities will come fast, almost too fast, and saying yes will feel easy, but knowing when to say no, that's where the real test begins. And it's not just Eala in this moment, it's her family too, standing close, making choices that could shape everything ahead. Because in this world, the right decisions don't just build a career, they define it.
And the parents have to realize it too for themselves. This is new to them.
Okay.
And everybody's got to stay on course. It's not easy, but she's got to say no to certain things and stay humble. They know they're blessed, and just keep one ball at a time.
Billie Jean King didn't stop there, not even close, because when she speaks, it feels like she's pulling back the curtain just a little more, revealing something deeper about Alex Eala that most people might miss at first glance. She made it clear, this isn't just talent, this is something rare, something almost unteachable, a gift that only a handful of players ever truly possess. The tennis world is crowded with athletes chasing greatness, but Eala stands apart, not just because of her skill, but because of the quiet strength in her humility and the respect she carries with her every time she steps on or off the court. King leaned into that point, almost like she was reminding everyone that greatness isn't built on victories alone, it's shaped in the moments no one sees, in the way you handle pressure, attention, and expectation. It's about presence, about character, about staying grounded when everything around you is trying to lift you too fast, too soon. And navigating that storm, fame, fortune, the constant spotlight, that's where so many falter, but King believes Eala has something different. This wasn't just observation, it was history speaking. She's been watching Eala long before the world caught on, tracking her journey since she was just 14, when their paths first crossed at the US Open in San Diego, a moment that didn't end in victory, but still said everything. Even in that loss, there was a spark, something undeniable, something that stayed with King long after the match was over. She saw it early, the potential, the edge, the future, and now, years later, the rest of the world is finally catching up, seeing exactly what she saw all along, even if it took a while.
I even talked to her at the Junior Nationals in San Diego last year in August.
When she was 14.
She was playing in the 18 and under, and she didn't win it. So it just shows you never know, but she loves that showcase court, center court, which is
were more than just wins. They felt like proof, like something undeniable unfolding in real time, a glimpse of what Alex Eala is truly capable of when everything clicks. Her run at the Miami Open didn't just turn heads, it shook expectations, especially when she became the first wild card in 4 decades to reach the semifinals of a tournament like that, a moment that instantly etched her name into the bigger conversation. And once she stepped into that spotlight, she never really stepped out of it. Since then, Eala hasn't allowed anyone to call it luck. She's answered every doubt the only way that matters, by winning, by pushing past limits, by taking down some of the biggest names in the sport like Jessica Pegula, Coco Gauff, Iga Swiatek, and Madison Keys, showing again and again that her game is real, her mindset is strong, and her presence isn't temporary. She's not passing through, she's arriving. And just like Billie Jean King predicted, the world outside the court is starting to close in just as fast. Big brands are watching closely now, especially Nike, who see something in Eala that goes beyond rankings, something that connects with a global audience, particularly across Asia. The buzz around her is growing louder, crowds are building, attention is multiplying, and companies don't want to be the ones who hesitate. Nike, learning from past mistakes like letting Coco Gauff slip toward New Balance, isn't waiting this time. They're moving fast, trying to secure Eala before rivals like Adidas step in and change the narrative. Because this isn't just about tennis anymore, it's about influence, about identity, about becoming the face of something bigger. Eala's rise has gone beyond matches and trophies, it's captured the imagination of an entire industry, a story driven by determination, raw talent, and a hunger that feels authentic. And while brands are lining up, the respect within the sport might matter even more. Novak Djokovic, a name that defines greatness, But it's not just Billie Jean King who sees something extraordinary in Eala, because the story has already started writing itself in moments that feel bigger than the stage they happen on, and the tennis world can't help but watch a little closer now. The rising Filipino star hasn't just played matches, she's carved history into them, leaving behind performances that echo far beyond the court and refuse to be ignored. Back in 2022, Eala didn't just win, she delivered a moment that felt destined, becoming the first Filipino to capture a junior Grand Slam title after defeating Lucy Havlikova in a final that carried more weight than it seemed. But what truly made it unforgettable wasn't just the victory, it was the way she did it, moving through the entire tournament without dropping a single set, a level of dominance so rare it almost felt unreal. In doing so, she didn't just win a title, she stepped into a space no one else in junior circuit history had reached before, quietly separating herself from the rest. That achievement didn't just add to her resume, it changed the way people saw her, turning promise into expectation almost overnight. And from that moment on, her rise hasn't slowed down, it's accelerated, almost like something unstoppable building with every match she plays. She kept delivering, again and again, pulling the spotlight toward her with performances that demanded attention, including a stunning run at the Miami Open where expectations didn't apply anymore. Entering as a wild card, she wasn't supposed to go far, but she didn't follow that script, taking down some of the biggest names in tennis, including Madison Keys and Yelena Ostapenko, and with every victory, the message became clearer, this isn't just a rising star, this is something much bigger unfolding right in front of everyone.